For science this week, we are going to be looking at and trying to determine if an item is a living thing or a non-living thing. As with all science lessons, we start off with things we know. We know that Greta Thunberg wants to protect Earth. We know that Earth has many animals, plants, and landforms. Some of these are living things. Some of these are non-living things. This lab is a little different than normal because instead of performing an experiment, we are going to sort items and objects into living and non-living things. Therefore, we are not starting out by asking a question. Instead, we start out with a statement of what we can do. So, what can we do? We can sort things into living and non-living groups. What makes an item or an object a living thing? The item should meet several criteria. A living thing must breathe. A living thing must eat. A living thing must grow. A living thing must move by itself. And a living thing must reproduce. These are all things that help us classify whether an item or object is a living thing. Remember, today we are going to look at 16 items and, while using those statements, determine if each of those items is a living or non-living thing. Let's get started. Our first item is a tree. Is a tree a living thing or a non-living thing? This item is a living thing. It breathes in or uses carbon dioxide and breathes out oxygen. A tree consumes nutrients from the ground. A tree grows. A tree may grow in a certain way to face the sun, thereby moving itself. And a tree reproduces by producing seeds. Our next item is a rock. Is a rock a living thing or a non-living thing? A rock is a non-living thing. It does not breathe, eat, grow, move by itself, or reproduce. Our next item is a lake. Is a lake a living thing or a non-living thing? This one is a little tricky. This item is a non-living thing. There may be living things in and around the lake, but a lake does not breathe, eat, grow, move by itself, or reproduce. Our next item is a car. Is a car a living thing or a non-living thing? A car is a non-living thing. It does not breathe, eat, grow, move by itself, or reproduce. Our next item is an airplane. Is this airplane a living thing or a non-living thing? An airplane is a non-living thing. It does not breathe, eat, grow, move by itself, or reproduce. Our next item is a dog. Is a dog a living thing or a non-living thing? A dog is a living thing. It breathes in oxygen and breathes out carbon dioxide. It eats all sorts of food. It grows. It moves, runs, jumps, and it can reproduce. Our next item is a tornado. Is a tornado a living thing or a non-living thing? A tornado is a non-living thing. It does not breathe, eat, grow, or reproduce. A tornado may move, but it requires air to move it. Our next item is a parrot. Is a parrot a living thing or a non-living thing? A parrot is a living thing. A parrot breathes in oxygen and breathes out carbon dioxide. It eats fruits and nuts and seeds. It grows, it moves and flies, and it can reproduce. Our next item is a shark. Is a shark a living thing or a non-living thing? A shark is a living thing. It breathes in oxygen through its gills and breathes out carbon dioxide. It can eat meat, like a great white shark, or it can eat plants, like a great blue whale. It grows, it moves, and it reproduces. Our next item is a flower. Is a flower a living thing or a non-living thing? A flower is a living thing. It breathes in or uses carbon dioxide and breathes out oxygen. It consumes nutrients from the ground. It grows. A flower may grow in a certain way to face the sun, thereby moving itself. And a flower reproduces by producing seeds. Our next item is a computer. Is a computer a living thing or a non-living thing? A computer is a non-living thing. It does not breathe, eat, grow, move by itself, or reproduce. Our next item is a lizard. Is a lizard a living thing or a non-living thing? A lizard is a living thing. It breathes in oxygen and breathes out carbon dioxide. It eats fruits and nuts and leaves and insects. It grows. It moves around, and it can reproduce. Our next item is ice. Is ice a living thing or a non-living thing? Ice is a non-living thing. It does not breathe, eat, grow, move by itself, or reproduce. Our next item is a lion. Is a lion a living thing or a non-living thing? A lion is a living thing. It breathes in oxygen and breathes out carbon dioxide. It eats meat. It grows. It moves. And it can reproduce. Our next item is a frog. Is a frog a living thing or a non-living thing? A frog is a living thing. It breathes in oxygen and breathes out carbon dioxide. It eats food. It grows. It moves. And it can reproduce. Our last item is a horse. Is a horse a living thing or a non-living thing? A horse is a living thing. A horse breathes in oxygen and breathes out carbon dioxide. It eats food, it grows, it runs and jumps and prances, and it can reproduce. These are all of our living things. A tree, a dog, a parrot, a shark, a flower, a lizard, a lion, a frog, and a horse. These items all breathe, eat, grow, move, and reproduce. There are 9 items on this list. These are all our non-living items. A rock, a lake, a car, a plane, a tornado, a computer, and ice. None of these items can breathe, eat, grow, move by itself, or reproduce. There are 7 items on this list. So what did we learn today? Well, we can answer a couple of questions. Our first question that we can answer is, what must living things do? Must living things fly? Must living things breathe? Or must living things cook? Yes, all living things must breathe. Good job. How many items are living? 9, 12, or 3? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 living items. Great job. How many items are non-living? 10, 5, or 7? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 non-living items. Super job! Today, we were able to sort items by a single characteristic, living and non-living. Throughout the rest of your day today, and even tomorrow, you can use this information to sort other items you may come across. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks for being a scientist with me.